This is the Night Wolf howling at you, and today we're going to jump into the world of He-Man and the Masters of the Universe cartoon collection figures to look at Trapjaw, evil and armed for combat. Done up to look like the Filmation counterpart, Trapjaw sports some very bright colors and a lot of pink. On the back of the box, we see He-Man going up against Trapjaw and Merman, noted as seen on the episode Double-Edged Sword. Or what we could say is He-Man tries to stop Trapjaw from eating a piece of Eternium rock, which of course he does that to try to power up. So, what he does seem to include is, of course, the Eternium rock, and we will see what other equipment he has. But it kind of looked like in the package, like he only comes with his hook and his blaster. I didn't see any sign of the claw, but I could be missing it. So let's open this sucker up. So we have a little informational bit that shows you the crap that comes off of him. And it does appear that Trapjaw has multiple parts on his arm that come off too this time. We have the comic book Time's End, which was the same one that came with Teela. So of course we see Teela practicing her fighting skills against the little drones that, if you bought Teela, they don't float anywhere and in fact just kind of sit on the ground like a couple of logs. But the king wants Teela to find some Eternium rock because they need the power to help keep the kingdom running. And thus she is sent to the desert, where Trapjaw also shows up. And he wants the Eternium as well. And she refuses to give it to him. Coincidentally, since they are in the Chrono Desert, a time storm pops up and blows around them and grabbing them and sucking them into Preternia, the past. And this is far enough back that they don't actually have any of the usual crap that they have to deal with. And by that I mean we don't have any like the mechanical dinosaurs or even the Eternian towers. It's just dinosaurs. So Teela and Trapjaw are debating whether or not they should kill each other or work together to go home. Ultimately, they decide that they will work together. While doing this, which I'm not sure how they figure they might get home other than dumb luck, they find the Eternium crystal, and Trapjaw saves it with his little grappling hook claw thing, which would have been nice if they gave us that. But then they go up against a three-headed dragon, because everything else is a dinosaur except for a dragon. And it also looks like it wants the Eternium as well. Maybe that's what powers its fire breath. So Teela, it looks like Teela only actually fights the dragon. Basically gives it a chop to the throat with her shield, then slices it with her sword, and somehow that manages to defeat it. And I don't know if it ran off or died. It doesn't really explain that, so I guess not. But luckily enough, once they have the Eternium in hand and Trapjaw brings out the fly swatter, another time storm pops up and drops them back off on Eternia in present time, where she's only been gone for a couple minutes as she speaks to King Randor and Orko. And then they get a brief moment where Orko shows them a little spy thing showing that Trapjaw is being punished by Skeletor by putting in a pair of stocks. Is it really a pair of stocks or just a set of stocks? Or is it just a sock? Or just a stocks? I don't know. I don't have medieval torture equipment at home. And this comic also just kind of ends with a little clip from Tila there, which again, this does kind of make me think of the whole like the way they would used to do the PSA at the end of the cartoons. And once more, we've got the cartoon collection cross cell on the back here. Tila, heroic warrior goddess, which in the case of this series should be heroic captain of the guard. Trapjaw, evil and armed for combat. Stratos, the winged warrior. And Merman, ocean warlord. And the thing is, it seems like the cartoon collection is being released not as full wave sets of cartoon collection, but with other figures from other lines. So let's take a look at Trapjaw. And we can now confirm that he comes with his blaster and his hook, which is really sad since they showed us both the fly swatter and the little grabby claw thing. And he comes a piece of Eternian rock. There is one little belt loop on the back here for whichever weapon you don't put on him. So if we put the claw in, we can hook this on the back. I'm not going to lie, this is kind of disappointing to me right here that he only comes with those two items. I don't need no stinking piece of fake crystal as an accessory. I would rather have the claw. Actually, I would rather have the fly swatter for this one. That is what I really want. So anyway, let's talk articulation. First off, the head is on a ball joint, and we can spin it all around and look around. He definitely has a different head sculpt, and they painted the eyebrows on this time. Thank you. His jaw does have some articulation to it, so you can still open and close it. And he's got quite the chin there. He kind of looks like Jay Leno. He does kind of look like Jay Leno, doesn't he? So anyway, we have his arm, which is a new sculpt as well. We can spin it. We can hinge it out a little bit, hinge it back a little bit, so it goes about yay far off to the side. It does look like this is a separate piece from his torso. On the other side, we have the standard arm for the cartoon collection. So we got the hinge up and down. We can fully spin around again. We've got the elbow hinge. And we've got the fist that can spin and hinges in and out. His arm here also has a hinge. And what's really kind of weird is that it does have a bicep cut that pops out. And I think the specific reason for that is because if you do watch the cartoon, Trapjaw's arm is just that, and it plugs the crap in exactly like this. So this is Trapjaw in the cartoon. This is the most accurate representation of Trapjaw in the cartoon, not with this little piece. Even like, I think the one time I think I recall seeing him with the claw, it was just like that. And again, I wish they had the fly swatter. Maybe somebody's making that, like 3D printing those. But you can still go back with our classic Trapjaw. So, that being said, though, we still do have the hinge and the peg to spin that around. And in all truth, the biceps cut on him is literally just because it's a peg to go into his arm. So that's going to really be dependent upon how you want to display your Trapjaw. We have a waist swivel all the way around. He can kick up and he can kick back yay far. The cartoon collection does seem to have less range than the previous toys when it comes to that. However, I would say that the knee hinge is actually better than in previous toys. And it actually hinges forward a little bit. But this is also what gives him that more straighter stance, right? He also has the hinge at the foot. And there is a spin, but again, the design of the ankle hinders a lot of that movement, just like in the original toy. He's also got some really meaty thighs. They'd be thick. Let's double check this. So Trapjaw's arm should be removable. Although, oh, there we go. So this is how his arm is designed in this toy. Like honestly, when I first see this inside of there, when I first saw this inside his arm, I thought it was already like out of position, but no, because it is. Remember, he's still using the same standard buck as the other figures, and his belt comes off like the other figures. And he has the same loincloth as the other cartoon collection figures. This is also a somewhat different design from previous ones too. So, because he doesn't have a harness, he has just a little part that covers that. And I'm just wondering, I feel like I need to watch Masters of the Universe again because I thought this was also pink on Trapjaw. So, look at the way this is set up. It's got the little indent there. So, this little flat part here fits in that indent. And I wonder if you're better. I wonder if what the best way to do this is like put that in place first and then. Yeah, I guess that's how you would do it. I'm not gonna lie. I think as far as my display goes, I'm gonna end up displaying him this way so he looks more accurate to the cartoon collection. And then the crystal has the little penis on it, so you can put it in his hand, sort of. Or is it designed more for the hook? Not really. This is such a useless item. And of course, the best thing we can compare him to is the Origins version of Trapjaw. You can definitely see the difference in height because even with him on a stand, um, Cartoon Collection Trapjaw towers over the Origins one. Like really towers over him. The arms are different, which I'm honestly surprised because I would have thought they would have just used that again just because it would be cheaper. I mean, the gun and the claw are the same gun and claw. It's a bit disappointing we didn't get the or the hook. Sorry, it's disappointing we didn't get a claw. Although again, Trapjaw uses a different style of claw in the cartoons than he used as the toy. So that would have been cool if we'd gotten that claw instead of this one, or instead of this stupid plastic rock thing. I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna watch an episode just to see if that's supposed to be black or not. They're easy enough to find on YouTube. He does have the basic arms, like the same as Beast Man. There's no extra detailing like there are on the original versions. So don't know. I don't really know what I think of this head sculpt though. Like, I don't like this one because it doesn't have the eyebrows, even though I could paint them on there. I got a second head now that I can do that with. But this one just feels too egg shaped, and he's got the Jay Leno chin, which, don't get me wrong, there's nothing bad about Jay Leno. He's got a fine chin, but it just doesn't look right on Trapjaw. And it does feel like the colors clash more on this version. I mean, it was already kind of bad enough that the helmet is such this bright pink on the Origins one when it should be a darker red. And I know in the cartoon it was all pink, or magenta would be the proper color name. I honestly don't know how I feel about this Trapjaw. Like, as part of the cartoon collection, it's fine, but I feel like there's a lot of details that I just keep thinking aren't quite correct. So I will go back and I will look to see what he looks like in the animation for sure. And then I think I'll put a picture of it up next to him. So please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. I'm curious to what you think of the Cartoon Collection Trapjaw. Peace and love.